just took longer. No, it's still not. Yeah, no. We're here and we're really good at going live. Hi, Dad. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Welcome.
It's really great to be here live from the Birch and Birch
Studios.
broadcast studios high
right.
above the city of Manhattan. We come to you today with our What the Friday, whatever you call our little show that we do here every week.
What the Friday? That's literally what you call our little show.
That's right.
Our show is called What the Friday.
Unless we're not ready for it, and then it's like the pain in the ass thing that we're doing on Fridays.
It's like, What the Friday.
Exactly right.
Anyway,
it's really great to be here.
Indeed, it is.
It's been an interesting week. A lot of outreach to New York agents about things going on in New Jersey, which has been really cool.
Yes, it has. We've had amazing conversations with some baller people. I got the most inspired I've ever been from a woman named Carol. She's amazing, and I want to be her. And that's what my highlight for the whole week, probably that. But shall we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into whatever you want to get into.
What does the market look like right now?
Well, check it out. This is kind of the market right now. And I have some new news as you look at this. Basically, this is it. So what else do you want to talk about? Just kidding.
So I told Dad no one really cares about our market information. Like, we just give them the basics and then no one really wants the detail. So Dad's response to that was, here it is. Okay, bye.
Okay, well, I'll do a little more than that.
I think it's interesting, yeah.
And there's something brand new. Notice up here at the top, the little Montclair thing. I'm going to talk about that for a second. Basically, the area that we lived in down here at the bottom, where you have the 5 race horses trying to climb up the ladder a little bit, you can tell that things are getting a little bit better here. The suburbs, we hit this really high point right here, like 120-something% absorption rate, which we thought was super high. And since I'm doing some work in Montclair right now and trying to help out there some, I thought, well, I better shove Montclair into the system because I'm going to be doing a lot more work there. And Montclair's absorption rate is 186%.
Oh my God.
But when you hear people talking, especially nicer homes, they talk about moving to the suburbs, Montclair's the primary word. You'll hear like the Oranges and other communities around it, but Montclair is really kind of the epicenter.
It's the place where people are like, I might want to move out to the suburbs, somewhere like Montclair.
Yeah, and they want a gorgeous classic home. That's where they go.
Yeah.
So you can tell they are right at the peak of their heave right now, and I think inventory is dropping. So I think sales are going to fall off a little bit, but as far as what you're going to pay with an absorption rate like that, prices are, we talked about it in the past, people paying 50% over ask. This is an ideal example of that, the areas that's happening in. And it happens to be the one that we don't make our primary market in. So
yeah.
How handy is that?
But it is one of our markets. We do work there. It's just not our primary area of expertise.
It's not right outside our door. So we have to drive 10 or 15 minutes to get there. Or a little longer, depending on traffic, but not a lot. So that's it. So there's my market story. Things really seem to be quieter. In a way, I take that back. Last few days, I've gotten a few more calls. We have a rental on Palisade that has been taking longer than expected to get rented. I don't know what's going on there because it's a really nice place, but calls on that have been picking up, and a couple other places. The New York listings, though, have been quiet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Super quiet. Yeah.
Speaking of renters moving around, whatever, there's a really cool article in The Real Deal, and I thought it was fascinating because we have seen people go from these really popular cities to those popular cities losing a lot of demand, and then people going out into the suburbs, Montclair, just more unexpected places because there's a lot of the things that were making you want to or need to live in the city aren't happening right now. So, there aren't people getting job offers. And then included in that job offer is the location of Manhattan and you need to be there. That doesn't happen. And with all that change, I have been really curious nationwide, where is everyone going? And I got the answer this week from a Real Deal article. And so Albuquerque, New Mexico, the multifamily occupancy is up higher than it's ever been. Memphis, Tennessee is seeing rising rents and cap rates for apartments, and assets in Detroit have spiked. Detroit is one I didn't really see coming because it is a larger place. So I found that unexpected.
Their inventory was pretty cheap, though, I think.
Yeah.
I have a great friend that has been investing in Memphis for 3 years now.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, large. Yeah, you would know him.
It's getting even more. I mean, it has become more popular during COVID.
Like apartment complexes one at a time, and he was in the right place at the right time. Who knew?
Oh, great move! If he sold them now, I'm sure he'd make a great profit.
He's not going to sell them.
I mean, I don't think he should. It seems like it's going well, but
he's looking for more. So,
the Las Vegas is really similar to Detroit.
I listened to the podcast or a YouTuber, Graham Stephan, just moved to Las Vegas, and our clients, Becca and Nick.
Oh yeah, they lived there last year.
Yeah, they went to Las Vegas. It's gorgeous out there.
Yeah, I have never thought of it really. Just period.
I like that. But it's easy to get out. It's a little. Yeah, never mind. I don't know. I don't live there. Why am I even going to talk about it? I'm an idiot.
Okay. Say something controversial. Say something controversial about Las Vegas. Come on.
Can't think of anything.
Dig the hole. I'll give you a shovel. Also, okay, something interesting. So there's a guy named Ben Teresa who teaches real estate finance at Virginia Commonwealth University. And he was saying that the strategy of capital favoring less developed markets is one that is generally seen during recessions. So that's why it's not as unexpected from his perspective. His quote was, "It certainly happens. It happened in the last economic cycle. Investors would move into second or third tier markets after New York and San Francisco were saturated and cap rates had become too low," which we already, that makes sense. If you're not making money from a place, you go somewhere you might make money. But people in these times, for some reason, feel more drawn to actually making that move because it no longer seems even worth it to have a low return on investment here because you might not even break even and it's not like a safe decision. So I thought that was fascinating.
It makes me think of, oddly, I'm doing a consulting gig in another state for a small town.
Oh, yes, you are fancy.
Yeah. But also in our, it makes me think about our hometown where we came from long, long ago.
Yeah.
They have, for example, in the middle of the country, out in the woods in Iowa, there's a cute little town that we came from, has a big town square, it's very Mayberry-like. And they have incredibly fast internet around the town square area, the downtown district, super fast. And if you think about it, if you're, what I'm hearing here, I'm surprised more people don't move to places like that. And I had a call with their Main Street director yesterday. That's who I was on the phone with when you came over yesterday.
Oh.
And they basically sent me an email and said, "Hey, you've been living in the city for a number of years now. Do you have any idea how we can connect with people? And do you think they'd be interested in moving here?" And I was like, Yeah, if they're the right people, but yeah, especially young married couples that
Yes.
want to, if you can work remotely,
Yeah.
you can buy, for example, you can buy a 20-foot wide building, 100 feet long, 2 stories high, rent the downstairs to anybody, or just keep it, and turn the 2,000 square feet upstairs into your home, and have the whole thing done for $200,000 or less. That's buying it in, renovating it, living in it, and then having a place to rent downstairs.
That's insane.
The negatives, you don't have a big mall close by. You got to
And you
drive
have
an hour and a half to get to a
fewer
big mall.
people.
You have a lot fewer people, but that gives you the opportunity to be on a school board and impact your kids, go to all of your kids' activities. Your kids can actually ride their bike down a street,
Yeah.
and you don't worry about what's going to happen to them. I mean, not all parents worry, but it's kind of a cool thing. And I can see some people the same way we moved here to totally change our experience and our lifestyle and try something completely different and challenge ourselves. People want to they can do the same thing in reverse and go there, have the same totally different 180-degree different challenges.
Yeah.
But completely fresh life. And imagine you have a condo or something in New Jersey or New York, and you sell it for $750,000.
Yeah.
And you've got 50% equity in it, so you clear $375,000. And you go to this little town in Iowa, and 200 of it gets you into a 2,000 square foot place that's completely remodeled and gives you an income producing property downstairs and super high speed internet. Plus, you don't have to drive anywhere, and you don't have to worry about parking anymore, and you don't have to worry about who your kids, well, you do worry, but you know who your kids are friends with, and you know all the teachers, and you know everything that's going on in town. And
yeah, I mean,
it could be a cool experience.
I would not trade where I grew up.
It's a great place to raise kids because of that. You don't worry about what's going to happen to your kid. So anyway.
It's not about, and also I'm wondering if those numbers are going to spike because look at the cultural shift in the art we consume. Like TV shows, there are so many shows and movies about some person going and having a really amazing life out in the country and in a farm life or in a small town like the one we used to live in. Mm-hmm. So I'm really curious. I mean, if next year, let's say we all get the vaccine in January and next year everything goes back to normal. Mm-hmm. Did I freeze? Okay, yep. Well, I'm back now. If everything goes back to normal, but they don't require you to be in office, then how is the fabric of our nation going to change? Just like where everyone lives and how everyone lives, because in order to pursue your dreams, you might not have to go to a vertical space anymore. You might not have to go live in a high rise in Manhattan. So if
you can keep that salary, imagine that you have an income that supports $1 million condo on the East Coast or the West Coast or in some major metro area. And now you can do the same thing for 1/5 the cost.
Yeah. A $200,000 house that looks like a $1 million house here.
Then you get to keep the difference between that. Think about our farm in Iowa. What do you think what do you think our house on 5 acres in Iowa?
No idea.
Would bring if it was here.
Oh, here?
It's crazy.
With all 5 acres?
Yeah. But I don't need a number, but the point is you can imagine it's just nuts.
It's a lot. Here, it's a lot. Wow, interesting.
So, have anything this past week that frustrated you or pulled your chain?
Probably, but I don't remember. I do want to talk about just a real quick explanation of real estate taxes, because every buyer I have they look at the show sheet, they look at the paper of information, and they're like, okay, this is the taxes. And then they try to calculate that to figure out their monthly expenses.
Another agents let them do it.
Yes. And they don't explain, the taxes you're reading on that sheet are not accurate. And so people buy houses thinking their taxes are going to be one way and they're not.
Wait a minute. Wait. The taxes that are on there are accurate right now for the current owner.
Yes.
They're not accurate for you as a buyer. If you buy a place right now and you think that the taxes that you're looking at on Zillow or Realtor or Street Easy or any, doesn't matter, any aggregate, any site, all they're doing is showing you today's property taxes. They're not showing you what they're going to be when you buy it, and they're going to go, if you're paying more for that place than the prior owner did, you're going to pay more than the prior owner did. You need to just get that tax thing. I'm with you.
Yeah. Well, how do you?
Totally agree.
I know you do. I know you do.
I worship you. Thanks for bringing it up. That's
the
always
only
so
way
frustrating.
I need you to respond to me. I don't need quality comments. I need you to just say you worship me. That's what I need. No, that is an excellent explanation, because it's important to know, and most people don't, and so they get blindsided when they buy a place, and then suddenly their taxes change because the tax assessor reassesses based on a multifactorial approach. And one of those factors is the most recent purchase price. So that changes what the taxes are. And the more you know.
That's right. The more you know, the better. I am going to, while we're on here, hang in there with me for just a second. I'm going to pull this up and see if I can share it.
I'm hanging, but no one else is. I can see the number of views, and it just grows. You're like, hold on, and everyone goes, no. We lost everybody.
Not doing it.
Dang it. Dad is tired today, by the way. He's super tired today, and you can't tell, and I commend you for it.
Thank you. Thank you, darling. But anyway, I want to talk about the effective tax rate that you're talking about.
Oh.
And I'm just pulling that up and going to get it so I can
let me know when it's pulled up, and I'll talk about Carol Baronato. I don't know how to say her last name. Tell me when you're ready. I'm just obsessed with her. I had a conversation with her last week, and she is a realtor in New York City. She is crazy busy in this very down market. And I talked to her for a total of 12 minutes, and I walked away from that call so inspired and like so certain of what I want my future to look like. And my future, I want to look like hers. I just think she's incredible. And it was so exciting. She doesn't care about she's not trying to be Ryan Serhant or like one of the famous realtors. She's just trying to do a really good job and provide incredible service for people. And there's something so powerful in hearing someone talk, and everything they're talking about is just, I want to do a really good job. And I really like my clients. And it just had such a warm sense to it.
I love people like that.
Yes.
Absolutely love it. You know what? We're doing some, Morgan and I represent and are helping do some sales for a brand new luxury development that's here. And we're doing a lot of outreach for that.
Yes.
And it's fascinating how, there's a few people out there that are just real buttheads. And, they want to send you the super snotty, if I could hang you from across email.
They're like, why would you send me this?
Why would you tell me I could earn this much money on a sale thing?
Yeah. I don't know. Some of them are pretty funny. I just love responding to those and being like, thank you so much for emailing. I love to get your anger. You know what is sad about me? I actually love to get those emails. I'm like, negative attention's better than no attention. I'll take it.
You poor thing.
Let me see.
Anyway, so yeah, that's really great to come across people. And they're actually I don't know what, maybe 75% of the people that we've been in touch with have been absolutely fantastic. Amazing. And they're like, oh, this is awesome. Cool. Amazing. Thanks so much for reaching out. And some people are just desensitized the other way. Let's go back to taxes. Can you take a look at this?
Zoom in so much, because if somebody's seeing this on their phone, they can't read it at all.
Oh, all right. I don't know how to do that from the screen.
Hit Command and then plus. Hover your mouse in the middle and then hit Command plus. Yeah, there we go.
All right. So these are in our county, Hudson County, the one that we work in the most. These are the effective tax rates. So when you look at, let's say you buy a place for $100. It's just because it's easy to break out. $100,000. You buy a place for $100,000 in Bayonne City, you should expect to pay about $2,904 a year for every $100,000. That's the effective tax rate, 2.904%. Hoboken, which we're all familiar with Hoboken, 1.063%, lowest tax rate in our county. The little town that we're in, 2.58%. So if you're buying $1 million place in Union City, your annual taxes are going to be $25,850. About. These are estimated effective tax rates. So typically, and I know you do this too, Morgan, when we're working with buyers, we often show them this. And frankly, it's usually the first time, even if we're not the first ones they've talked to.
Yeah.
They don't usually share this, but man, you need to know this stuff, because if you buy a place, you might find a place and you think, oh, this is kind of cheap. And it could be because the current owner has been there forever and they're not that ambitious about, trying to break a record. And they're just like, this seems fair. And so they get a lot of traffic. Next thing you know, somebody spends $500,000 on their home. They see that it used to be $5,000 a year taxes. Now it's going to be 10.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know
they're
that
not ready for that.
the difference between Hoboken and every other surrounding town in Hudson County was that dramatic. Seeing them side by side, but like that.
There's been some tax revaluations that have worked out for most people, not worked out for some other people. But I think that's definitely what's happening here. So I know that there is a hunger in Union City for them to do a reval.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that would go. I know I really like Union City, but our taxes are super high.
Yeah.
But also I'll tell you what, they spend money.
They
New
do.
Sidewalks, lights, trees, benches,
we love to talk about how they
streets.
should be spending it better.
Yes, I'm one of those. I'm like, I'm just a bad guy.
No, you didn't.
Look at how we're spending our taxes over there. That's awesome.
Every time we drive by a police officer who's talking to another police officer they just both parked and they're both just talking, and then we drive by them like.
Well, it's not just that. That's not like. Don't get after me about I love and respect the police. I hate that the city requires that a policeman has to stand there at a construction site when there's not much going on. And especially if there are 2 or 3 of them there at the construction site. And I don't know, they're not directing traffic. I mean, the other stuff, they're Johnny on the spot. I mean, you call the Union City Police Department for anything, and they are there right now. They're on it. But so I love that part. Absolutely love it. Totally respect them. I know they're getting really crappy things. It's just this thing of we have to have a police officer be there when we're doing construction, but they're not going to do any. They're not directing traffic or anything. They've got their phones out. They're like showing stuff to each other. I don't know what they're doing.
I walked by one because you had construction on our street because now we're neighbors. Does everyone know that about us? I live 4 doors down from my parents. I don't know if it's the most healthy or the least healthy, but it's
not like we see each other all the time. I think you came over last night, and it's the first time I think in 3 days that I'd seen you. I sent her a text. I'm like, so you live? You want to come over? And she's like, yeah, for a minute.
No, I said, coming in a funny way. That's what I said.
I couldn't quite figure out what that was exactly, but
I was trying to do like coming, but with letters.
Okay.
All right, good. Glad it worked. You know what? It made me laugh when I typed it, and at least somebody thought it was.
Well, I told you. I told her. I said, "Hey, I think Morgan's coming over." And she said, "Do you think?" I said, "Yeah, that's it." I think.
I can't understand what she's saying.
I don't know what's going on in this text.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, the taxes. Be careful about taxes. What else do you want to talk about?
To bring up before we conclude?
I don't know who listens to this thing. I know that between all of our platforms, it's almost 1,000 people, but I don't know how many are agents. Are you time blocking? That is like the hardest thing. And I would never have thought that I would struggle with that the way I'm struggling with it. I cannot get myself to time block. I've done it today, which is why I brought it up. But
are you asking me or are you asking?
I'm asking you and everybody. If you're if you're a real estate agent watching
that.
this thing,
I'm not.
do you time block? Do you try to time block?
Yes.
Or are you just as much of a failure at time blocking as I am? Because I am sucking at it.
I've been sucking at it much worse than you this week, I think. It's kind of a hodgepodge of when I end up doing what.
Yeah,
But I'm glad you brought it up because I'm going to grip back on the wagon next week, I think. Try to be more religious about it.
I was talking to another agent in New York City, and he made a comment that made me think of it. I said, do you time block? And he said, oh, God.
I have talked to, yeah.
How in the hell am I supposed to time block? I know. My coach tells me I got to time block all the time. And I'm like, well, tell my clients that are calling me at 7 o'clock in the morning or at 9 o'clock at night, or the people that want to see the property in my time block time. Do you think I'm not going to, I'm not going to go show it when I can show it?
The only time I can do it is if I only have 3 hours max time blocked every day. So if I have to move, then it's only an hour of time that I have to move because there are too many random appointments and calls and fires to put out. And that's why I like the chaos of my job so much that relegating all of that to a certain time is like sad.
Yeah. Well, I'd be interested to hear from people. Do you time blocking, for those of you that don't know by chance, is just when you say, I'm going to do this from this time to this time, and you block out areas of your calendar.
10 to 11. And then from 11 to 12, I will do current client follow through. And then from 12 to 1, I will do.
Because there are like, a countless number of aspects to being a real estate agent. None of them are huge. But it's like dying by 1,000 cuts, death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
It's just, you screw up this, you forget to call somebody back, you don't get the information for somebody that you were supposed to get, you didn't finish an email you're supposed to finish. So the time blocking concept is, well, quit trying to juggle it all. Do this time for emails, do this time for follow-up with this kind of client, do this kind of research time, do this kind of stuff here. And next thing you know, when you start thinking about all the things you can time block, it's like, I need like 62 hours a day.
And then you hate your life.
Yeah. And then you try to time block it and you get all your lists together and you have this to-do list and you get up in the morning and you start it, then your phone rings and then you're a little bit late, you're delayed. So then you try to get back to it and then the phone rings again. Oh, now I've got to do something else that I forgot because I didn't time block earlier. So now it's a little bit later. And then you put everything in your task list. And after about 5 days of that, you've gone from nothing because you didn't have the tasks in your task system to 63 past due tasks. And then you look at them and you're like, all of these are important and I got to go do a showing now.
It gets overwhelming.
And then you just feel like a failure. It's like, what is it about? You look at our numbers, you don't feel like a failure. When you look at what's going on.
Task you're trying to complete every day and you're just watching it grow every day.
And you know that every one of those things you're not doing is not serving a client the way you should serve a client.
Yeah. Or I mean, a lot of the ones that are overdue are prospecting, like trying to make sure you get more business in the future.
Right.
Or at least for me.
Yeah, it should be for all of us. So anyway, so welcome. Thank you. And like, subscribe, follow. I don't know why the hell you'd want to do that, but I think it's, if nothing else, it would just be generous, kind, and helpful for us.
It would be so great, please.
If there are things you like, things you want to see more of, things you want to see less of.
Please comment which part, if you actually watch this, comment which part you like.
Yeah.
And then we'll try to do more of that.
Yeah, we keep doing that. And we're kind of changing our format a little bit because of feedback that Morgan's reached out, gotten.
I've gotten a lot of feedback, guys. Actually, let's talk about that for just a minute. I know you have a showing, so we'll be fast. We have gotten a lot of feedback that no one really cares about the information we're sharing. They like an interesting story or two, like iBuying was interesting, or talking about, that's why I talk about the rents today and where renters are going, the stuff that we're interested in, that is interesting to people who are curious and want to learn. And then every other comment I've gotten is, we just like it when you two are having a laugh.
When we talk about Morgan's boyfriends.
Why do you do this?
It's a freebie for me.
I know you're going to put me on blast. It does. When you say it like that, it sounds like I've got multiple boyfriends. I have 0. Okay. I have 0. And that is the most common experience.
And I'd like to keep it that way. not because I'm worried about my daughter, but just because she's a lot easier to get along with, and we get a lot more done when she doesn't have a boyfriend.
That's so true. It sucks, but it's true. Whew. Anyway, the comment that we got from everybody is that, yeah, they like it when we talk about working together and are having a good, like, it's very honest, but we have a really good time together. So, you know, we talk about how we work together and all of that stuff people seem to like. I don't know, guys. Whatever you liked most from this, let us know. We'll try to do more of it.
That's right. So like, subscribe, comment, hit the whatever notifications button.
Whatever buttons they give you, hit them all.
Just hit them all.
Even disliking it is fine. Interaction of any kind.
No.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. Okay.
We'll cry.
We'll get out of here. I got to get going because I got an appointment I got to run to. So it's great to see everybody. And that's our What the Fridays. So shake and bake, baby.
Shake and bake.